Another day in the realm of crypto, and last 24 hours again is in red. But if you are just focusing on the price without looking at the macro picture, you may actually miss a lot of fundamental update. You may actually kind of go through this price and don't get the overall picture which is coming in. Because right now, central banks understand this. You need to see the history. There are people who actually went through this crash and they still hold on to that, build on to that. Now they are doing in billions. Why? This is the reason. Survivors of the crypto crash would become dominant marketplace. Now, depending on how big you are right now and how you manage your balance sheet, you would become even bigger. And right now we are actually observing that. And this particular read from digital perspective, and as you listen to this big guy, you're like, okay, if Jim Rickards is saying this, that's like, okay, it's nuts. If you actually go through this and then go on, find documents and read through them, you're like, okay, I do get the point. It's not only we, the guys in XRP, looking at this stuff, but you go around the world of banking, and then you come and find the documents, read through that. You're like, okay, they do understand this. It's not like they are the traditional banking system. They don't know blockchain. They know it even deeper than a lot of us. We have gone through this particular document last time, talking about XRP, XLM, how they work in detail. And at the bottom, you do get, now in this particular document, you have a little bit more alignment towards Stellar, but as we go through, we'll actually discuss that. But remember, CBDCs are going to be rolled out this year and next year in most part. And that's where the private sector agreement and the partnerships comes into play. That's this year and the following year. So if you are in this market right now, you have a lot of opportunities if you are focusing on the right side of these assets. Because within crypto, you now have a space for payments. You now have a space for smart contracts. You now have a space for NFTs, the metaverse kind of stuff. And then you have the exchange tokens. So you have a lot of them inside this market where you have a lot of volatility. So now let's discuss through that in detail. So stick till the end. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. Looking at all of this, I can easily say one thing. That's for sure. This cycle, by the time it ends, are going to create a lot of millionaires and billionaires from the crypto market. If you do understand what are the steps involved in that and how you can position yourself to become one of them, oh, that's kind of magical, because a lot of people don't take care of the basics. So they miss that stuff. So if you want to get into the details, you can go look at this particular video. Now, going into the price, okay, fine. Last time we got the double bottom. We went a little bit up. We came back down. MACD crossed to the upside, but the price was showing double bottom, which was not agreed with the RSI because the RSI was trending lower. Fine. Next time, the price was trending lower. RSI itself was trending lower. And the MACD crossed to the upside. So you didn't get much of upside. Here, at least, price showed you a double bottom. MACD showed you a cross. So you went even a little bit more higher. Here, it's only like just one movement, which is the MACD. So you didn't get too much. Fine. Right now, the price is in a consolidative pattern. I agree. The RSI is showing you it's trending to the upside. That there is a possibility it may move up. Fine, the MACD is showing you it's going to cross to the upside, and the volume in MACD is going to turn to the upside. Now, two indicators are showing you positive trend. Third one, the price need to break higher. So if the price happens to break higher from this, now it's like the price RSI and MACD on a 3-day chart of XRP agrees that it's going to go higher. So comparing these, we are going to get much higher price fluctuation. So yes, you can measure that in number terms, like okay, last time the one we did and went down was like 170%. So if this happens this time, most likely you're going to do much bigger than that. But is that enough? Even if you do double that from here, that's like 340%. So you put that into perspective and you come somewhere close to $1.5. I think that is enough. Why? Because the price fluctuation will actually take you through this level of resistance as you move forward. If you are able to break through 0.7 mark, that is a shift in the market. Fine. Now, why I think a lot of investors are right now looking at the fundamentals and they are moving from big junk assets to the real assets with fundamentals. You look at the daily trading volume and how that is impacting the market. You look at the market cap and how that is impacting the market. So the market cap is slowly fluctuating. You see like Ether getting the hardest hit this week, which is 14% in negative. Then you have Bitcoin, you have Cardano, but you look at like XRP, okay, we had a hard week here in crypto, but we are still negative 6%, which is much better if you compare to Ether. Now, Binance Coin is somewhere close to XRP. So, that come back to what I was talking earlier, right? Exchange tokens, payment tokens. So you get that idea of how things work. So now if you are looking at all the other coins going one by one at their platform, say smart contracts, interoperability layers and others, you are looking at the right direction. Now, why I'm saying that? You come look at XRP BTC, it's slowly bouncing to the upside. This is a 3-day chart. Each candle represents 3 days. So when you are watching, like, okay, 3 last candles, we are still moving up. We are staying there. Now, this one, we are again moving up. There is a possibility you may break to the upside. So XRP is going higher or holding a level when the entire market is dropping with Bitcoin. Now, you can look at Ether and you can say, okay, there is a possibility we have a double bottom. We are going to break this level. And if you do, that's like, okay, Ether versus XRP, XRP is winning, or money is staying in XRP and moving out of Ether. Money is staying in XRP and moving out of Bitcoin. I understand, in Bitcoin and Ether, there was a lot of institutional interest because that was like the only 2 assets where they had clarity in US. Right now, things are changing. Different countries are giving them, the institutions in that country, different agreements. Say for example, here in Korea, now they removed the crypto tax for like another 2-3 years. That's actually great for the institutions who are here. They will actually go on heavy on the assets which they think are going to change this market. So right now when there is a market crash, if you know the facts and you know how things work, you are going to make a lot of money. Now, if you just take a look into this one, you actually get an idea of where this is going. And that's the way money will be flowing. If you are in that road, you will be able to put that friction and absorb some of that money for you.
We're going to have a decentralized system that a community can validate, and we don't have to rely on anybody in particular. That was the original idea. So the question is, what's your method of validation? And that's what distinguishes one blockchain from the other. So I've listed 4 of them here, but there are others. Proof of work, that's what blockchain uses. And you know what the work is? You got to like factor these, 87-digit prime numbers into prime factors. It's a lot of computer crunching, completely clunky, completely inefficient, non-sustainable. I'll talk about that in a second. But that's Bitcoin. There's something else called proof of stake, meaning you actually, this is what Ether is based on, you demonstrate that you have.
Whatever he pointed towards is completely correct. Now, I think just one correction here is this. Ether is not now on the proof of stake. They want to move, yes, but right now they are on this stuff. But That does mean it is also on that junk network of proof of work as put by Jim Rickards, right? So the critical part here is the method of validation. What method do you actually use to validate those transactions? Now that actually comes down to a lot of different literatures. Because when you go on to do some reports for World Economic Forum or any other big institutions, including central banks, now you can only rely on existing facts. So you need researchers, scientists to come out with their understanding and their experience while they use this. That's this one here. You just read through this. Just one stuff is easy enough to say, like the FBA or the Federated Byzantine Agreement Protocol kind of is way better than proof of work. So it's, might be sufficient to reduce the use of environmentally unsustainable proof of work protocols. So all of them do agree on this one. Now this is not an old article. You can actually look at, like, okay, people are going through this, they are reading through this, and this one is downloaded 31st March 2022. Now that being said, you go back into this one and you're like, okay, there is a catch into this. Because now these are the big investors running big hedge funds with hundreds of billions of dollars, and he won't be the only one looking into this. Because you are entering into this central bank digital currency era, they know there is going to be a different infrastructure for that, and they will be investing based on that ideology. What is that? Are you on that? If they are going to push billions into that and that is going to become a $1 trillion industry, are you going to be a part of that? Okay, let's listen further.
A certain percentage of the processing power, so you step up based on your stake. There's proof of space. Space is storage space on a hard drive, so I get to vote on the blockchain. I get to vote on validating the blockchain because I've decided to devote a certain amount of my hard drive to that process. There's a new coin called Space Mint. And then there's the Byzantine Agreement, there's a version of that called the Federated Byzantine Agreement, which I personally think is the best.
The XRP ledger is different because its core consensus mechanism is different.
Much more robust to some of the problems we're talking about, and there are others. But the point is, don't talk about blockchain. Say, okay, what's your governance model? What's your validation model, et cetera? And then ask yourself, is that sustainable? Is that robust? Will that resist an attack? Are your cryptocurrencies going to be stolen? These are the questions you have to ask yourself. And
I want to talk a little bit about CBDCs because
I think most of you actually got that point, right? These big guys are looking into Federated Byzantine Agreement, but I won't be that XRP guy who is completely maxed out on just XRP saying, okay, it's all talks about XRP. I wish it was, but not. It's not, right? You come look at this particular document from World Bank, and yes, they do understand and they do consider these as stable coins for cross-border payments because while you do the transaction, these are literally 3 to 5 seconds. So there is no much big change in the price, and it does act as a stable coin through that process. But on the long period of time, it do go up because it is designed as an appreciating asset, right? So not everyone understand this, but you do have to read through this because there is no other way you are going to understand. You have to take your time. So now when you come down here, they are talking about Federated Byzantine Agreement, and Stella is also working on that. Now, that makes sense. The guy was on Ripple. He moved out and built Stella, and these are two of the assets which can provide the ability to be the bridge currencies. So right now, while you listen to that and go read through this entire stuff, now you are like, okay, fine. I do get the point. CBDCs are being accelerated, where some of them, like say Bank of Jamaica, I think they are going to roll out this year. You already have Bahamas and others who are already inside this. Then you go look at China. They are also having their central bank digital currencies on a different Federated Byzantine Agreement protocol because they think this is going to be what leads to the future. Now you are at a point where you are inside the crypto market and you're comparing between these. the existing published documents, the research. That's what they use before they actually go in. It's not just listening to a Bitcoin maxi or Ether maxi. They will do their research because they're going to put money. Fine. So if you are going to put your money into this, you need to make sure you are doing the right research at the right topic on the right location. So if you are, fine, let's continue. So now you look at like, okay, what are the space right now where there's a lot of money going in? NFT is one for sure. A lot of people are bearish on NFT when, everything inside that is going sky high, right? So now next is this one. Iran cracks down on crypto miners as electricity demand surge. This is going to be a problem not only in that particular country, but it's going to come on to all other countries. Why I think like that? Look at this. Your commodity prices are going sky high and there is a shortage for this. Europe is going to get hit hard. And the energy bills are going to run through the roof. And at that time, you don't actually want these miners who use proof of work to eat up that energy because they make profit and they will pay the bill, pushing up the bill. And the common man can't actually afford that. You don't want that, right? So when you look at the NFT side of this, you are like, okay, there's a lot of money going in. You look at like a company Ripple, they are building, they are expanding into new locations. Why? Because they know what they are building. They know what they are holding and the future value of it. Now, yes, the price is down, but right now there are big institutions like this preparing to move into this particular asset class and become custodians. Once they are custodians, believe me, the big institutions who are handling stuff in hundreds of billions like Jim Rickards would feel comfortable to buy and hold their assets inside them because they are dealing with these guys for a long period of time and they do feel comfortable dealing with these guys. I think all of them are embracing crypto and that's going to be another wave of new money coming in. So if you are looking at the economy and saying, okay, it's going to crash, I do agree with that. I completely agree with that. So the question is, are you positioned well enough to take the benefit of the systematic change? We are changing from the traditional banking system to a modern banking system where you don't have much of a friction. You have more scalability, right? I think I'm positioned well enough and I'm not only holding XRP, right? You guys actually know that. XRP, XLM, you name the payment tokens which have the pilots with central bank digital currency, central banks, big banks. I'm on that. Now, yes, XRP is my single biggest asset because I do believe on these fundamentals, which if you go through this video further, you'll actually get to listen to directly to Joel Katz or Shaw's, and they will actually give you that idea like, okay, if you are a CBDC platform, you need to have some sort of specifications which no others can give you. So if you are looking at a central bank and you're looking for a blockchain or an infrastructure to get on, you're like, okay, a lot of central banks need to be there, at least the major ones. And David Schwartz is highlighting the same. Dollar, rupees, pound, all of these big guys are going to be on something and they're going to work inside that. And I do believe if these big guys are going to come in to the industry, it is going to be a huge stuff. The next 1 to 2 years, I believe there is going to be a lot of new millionaires, billionaires, even trillionaires coming out from this particular sector, crypto. A lot of guys don't believe that, but understand right now it's just 3 to 5% of the world's population in crypto. Now that's so small. That does mean we are so early. 3 to 5% here means 97% are still outside. They don't even know this. They don't even take time to learn and put their money here. So if you're already here, you are on top of them. You have succeeded way ahead. Fine. What does that mean? Next 1 to 2 years, you have chances to make money. But if you're on the wrong asset which won't fluctuate, or if you're on the wrong asset which is going to zero, it doesn't actually make sense. So make sure you are balanced properly. So when the market takes off, you get that ability to absorb that upside. Now, you don't actually literally have to time the bottom and top. You can be in between 60-70%, and that's going to be massive because the charts and the history actually give you that idea. You do fluctuate like this and you have massive upside. Now, when that massive upside comes, you should be on the right asset. And for me, it looks like XRP is going to gain against Ether. XRP is going to start gaining against Bitcoin. And if you look at the history, that always have worked with a big pump in XRP USD. So you are going back and looking like, okay, this was the small pump you got last year. This was the small pump you got last year, and the price of XRP rallied to $2. Now, if you imagine, okay, this is breaking higher, you are changing this trend. There's a long-term trend which happened due to the F gate, and you're going up. That means you have a monster upside in terms of price in USD. Because right now here you are looking at another asset which also has upside, because a lot of people believe it's going to be used for something when it is running on proof of work. I don't know why people think that, but they do think that. There's a lot of uncertainty there. If they are moving from proof of work to proof of stake, what are all these scaling solutions going to do? Because it was there to solve a scaling issue for Ether on proof of work, layer 2 scaling solutions works. But once you move out of this, do you really need that? Now, there's a lot of questions. That's one of biggest concern. A lot of miners are going to lose their purchasing power because they just bought in and heavily invested into that. You have a lot of issues there. That's one of the reasons I would actually suggest look at the market, learn from the market, position yourself well. And in the next video, I'm going to detail what would it take for anyone like me, you, to look at like, okay, let me figure this out. How many billionaires are there? You are looking at the total billionaires. You are looking at how the money is working. You are looking like where they are positioned. And then you get to understand, okay, is there an ability for you to make money inside this asset in this market cycle? Not 10, 20 years from now. 1 to 2 years. So yes, I'm going to come up with that video as follows after this one. But in this video, if you are receiving value and learning something new, please do hit that like and subscribe button, because that supports the channel a lot. And if you really want to support the channel and learn more about different assets for your portfolio, you can come on to the Patreon. We do post regularly, giving you the update about the economy, about the commodities, cryptocurrencies especially, most of them. So you are now well positioned to take benefit of that. So hit that like button. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.